Here is part 2 of your vocabulary for Unit 7, Indigenous Americas. The first word is chinampas, or floating gardens that were built on top of a lake. So as we discussed, the Aztec built their city on top of Lake Texcoco, and it was a swampy place. So they used their environment to help them to survive by creating these gardens that are floating on top of the water. So they would use the marsh, the roots from the trees and twigs and so on to create these floating gardens where they could grow crops on top of or on them. And so this made their land bigger. It allowed their population to grow and to feed their empire. So it was very innovative and smart way to use this land that they were on and to make a huge empire. So that's called Chinampas. Tenochtitlan is the capital city of the Aztec Empire, which is in present-day Mexico City. So here we have a picture of a painting of the city of Tenochtitlan. So you see that there's like a bridge leading into the center of the city. This is where Mexico City would be now. And this is where they had their temples and the main plaza. And here we still have these ruins in Mexico City of the Templo Mayor. And then these surrounding areas are kind of like the neighborhoods that are surrounding it. Okay, so you have Coyoacán, which today has like the Museo of like Frida Kahlo's house. And then you also have Xochimilco, where you have all the trajineras or the boats on top of the water canals. And then there's like all these different neighborhoods that are surrounding. So this today is Mexico City, but back then it was the capital city of the Aztec Empire, and it was huge. Machu Picchu is an abandoned Inca city in the Andes Mountains of Peru with many stone walls. So this is considered now one of the 7 wonders of the world. And I saw a TikTok video about how challenging it is to kind of travel there, right? Because you have to fly in to Peru. There's like a train that you take to a nearby city, and then they have to take a bus, and then there's like a hike. And so it's actually quite a journey to get to this place. But you know, it's one that would be worth seeing in your lifetime. So they built this city out of stone. We can see here that they have terraces, and we'll talk more about like how they built these stone walls, which is really interesting. But we don't know what they used this city for, and they made it and then they abandoned it. So there's a few theories about what it's for, but this would be Machu Picchu of the Inca. Engineering. This is a science of building. When we talk about the Inca, we will talk about how they were wonderful engineers because they created those terraces, the way that they built their stone walls, how they created irrigation. They made suspension bridges to be able to go across hills. They just did so many things. But engineering is something that we could still study today. It has to do with like city planning. If you think about our magnet STEM, it has the word engineering in it. If you think about Mesa Club with Miss Clamfer, right, it has the word engineering. So it has to do with like building projects, and you know, they go to competitions with Miss Natalia and so on. So that would be engineering. The terraces. This is a flat area created on the side of a hill and used especially for growing crops. So this is how the Inca were able to grow crops on the sides of the mountains, right? So this is kind of like what they look like, and you know, we saw that they can grow corn and potatoes and other things, and they also raised animals such as llamas and alpacas in the mountains. Quipus. This is an Inca device for recording information that had colored threads knotted in different ways. So the Inca did not have a written language. So what they used was this system of these ropes with knots, and the knots and the way that they were located represented information. And so they had these runners or messengers that were called chasquis, whose job was to learn how to communicate or record messages with these quipus, and then they would do like relay race type of running and communicate throughout the empire that way, which is really interesting. And I believe this is the end of our vocab part 2.